So I wanted to share with you a practice called the small heaven meditation. We might ask ourselves, why is the small heaven meditation so special? And the answer is two major meridians in the body, the Du-mai and the Ren-mai. And these two meridians are very key because when we circulate qi on these meridians, we're affecting all the meridians in our body, consequently affecting our health and our well-being and our consciousness. So this meditation has been sacred probably for that reason, that it has such a profound effect on all of the meridians in the body. The Du-mai runs from the upper lip, around the head, down the middle of the spine, down to the tailbone. And the Ren-mai runs from the lower lip down to the perineum. So in this meditation, we basically circulate our awareness. We circulate qi, we move qi along these two meridians. However, we circulate the qi in reverse. So that helps to stimulate and invigorate the meridians. If you learn to circulate the qi along the small heaven pathway, the rewards will be very great. I studied with Master Hao on this, and he had suggested that if somebody wants to learn the small heaven meditation, that they learn from Hara Hara. So here I am sharing this meditation, and I have a lot of techniques I've learned from different Qigong masters. Typically, the small heaven practice, in the olden days, they would have you build your qi before you would practice this. And you can build your qi through the breath and breathing in and compacting the qi into the abdomen. However, nowadays, teachers are having students learn the circulation. I like to start by studying and getting to know the different points along the pathway. Now, there are many acupoints, but there are 9 key energy gates that we focus on in the small heaven meditation. And the first one is Sha Dan Tien. So those familiar with Qigong are probably aware of the lower abdomen. This is about approximately 2 fingers or 1.7 inches below the navel. And Sha Dan Tien actually is located inside the abdomen, but it interconnects with the outer abdomen. So that's one of the areas we focus on, Sha Dan Tien. And that's part of the pathway of the small heaven. Now, if we move downward along the pathway, we go to Wei Yin. And a lot of times, people might start thinking of the points along the pathway, but I like to think of the pathway itself. So here you are in Sha Dan Tien. Your consciousness is present here. And this is part of Qigong, just becoming what we call bathing at an energy gate, becoming aware and just dwelling there for a while so that you actually feel that energy gate. And as you go to another energy gate, you'll have a different sensation. So we have a particular sensation at Sha Dan Tien, and then that's how we identify that we are present there and the qi is moving. And then we can move the qi down to Wei Yin. Wei Yin is the perineum at the very base of the body. So feel Wei Yin. Become aware. What does that energy gate feel like? That's the most yin point of the body. Then we move along the heavenly cycle and we move upward, tracing the pathway straight back. So this activates energy, these little points along the pathway, and it helps the qi to move. So you put your awareness in Wei Yin, then you move your awareness up to the tailbone, Wei Lu, at the tailbone. And that's another energy gate. Of course, that's very significant. It's the base of the spine. It's where the energy flowing up the spine comes through Wei Lu. So we're moving the energy and we're drawing it up. We're drawing it up to the tailbone, and we're feeling that energy gate. What does that energy gate feel like? There's a certain sensation there, a certain frequency. It's different than each energy gate. Each one has a different frequency. Then you move up the back to the middle back, right behind the navel, to Ming Men. Ming Men. So feel the point on the lower back, Ming Men. And feel the pathway from Wei Lu, tailbone, to Ming Men. Feel that pathway. Trace it. It doesn't have to be a fine, pinpointed pathway, but just feel the feeling of it, as if somebody ran your finger up your back. You would feel a sensation there. And then we're going to go a long ways up from the lower back, and we cross behind the heart, all the way up to the big bone on the back of the neck called Da Jue. So feel the big bone on the back of the neck. Become aware of it. You can even rub it just to kind of help your mind sense that area. Now that's a very significant point connecting all the yang meridians. And then we move up to Yu Zhen. And Yu Zhen, we just kind of consider that the base of the skull, even though it's points on either side of the middle of the skull. We just kind of consider that area, Yu Zhen, in the small heaven. So feel the base of the skull. And you feel the pathway, again, from Da Jue, the base of the neck, up to Yu Zhen. After Yu Zhen, move the energy up the skull, around the skull to the Bai Wei point, set slightly back. Then it goes around the crown and down to Shang Dantian at the forehead. So this is a Dantian also. Dantian's like an elixir field. It's a little bit bigger of an area than a energy gate. It's an energy gate, but it's not like an acupoint. It goes in the brain, the eyes, and the forehead. So you want to feel the forehead, the center of command, commanding your chi. Open that, and then you go down the pathway, and you continue down over the center of the nose, over the lip, and down to the chest. Now these meridians, they interconnect here at the mouth, right? They don't connect, rather, but we touch the tip of the tongue to the palate, upper palate, and the purpose is to connect the circuit. So the chi goes in one circular circuit. That's what the tongue does, connecting the Ren Mai and the Du Mai. And then we circulate down to the next Dantian, the middle Dantian. This is the upper Dantian, this is the middle Dantian, Zhong, Z-H-O-N-G, Zhong, like center, middle. And this is corresponds right in front of the heart, the chest area. And you want to feel that pathway, and you want to feel what you feel here. Then we go down through the diaphragm, down, tracing back down to Sha Dantian. And that completes one circulation of the small heaven cycle. Now, we have a tape that we use, and it's in my book, and there's a link to the tape. And Master Hao has a deep resonating chant. So he'll chant Sha Dantian, and it's a very powerful tape because you're meditating at that acupoint, that energy gate, and you're hearing this sound, and it's almost like you're feeling a vibration there. And then you go down to Wei Yin, Wei Yin, he chants Wei Yin. And then Wei Lu, Ming Men, Da Jue, and slowly we go around, bathing at each point. And this is how we start to learn to feel the pathway. Sometimes I'll just kind of camp out, and I will sit and feel, I'll feel the energy gate, and then I'll feel the energy moving down. I'll breathe out as I go down, breathe in as I come up the back, and using the breath as a tool to push the chi. Now remember, the mind leads the chi and the chi follows. So it's almost as if you draw a mental pathway along your body and the chi will follow along that pathway. And one of the important things is you have to catch the feeling of the chi in your own way. So it's not something you can run after. You can't be in pursuit of the chi, but you have to discover it. It has its own language. And when you feel that feeling of the chi, you start to know there's physiological changes happening in the body when the chi is moving. So that way you can identify when the chi is moving and you can recall that again. And it may change each time, but you have an idea of how to call that movement. Before you begin the meditation, we always start sitting down and the knees are lower than the hips, so you don't have a crunch in the abdomen that's blocked. Spine is straight, and the eyes are focused straight and looking down 45 degrees. And relax the forehead, the brow, relax the shoulders. There shouldn't be any tension in the back and in the body. And also you don't want to have so much ambition into mastering it. You want to practice and do the practice, but not pursue the practice. Otherwise that desire to accomplish can interfere. The desire for achievement can interfere with the chi flow even. So you just relax and just let it be what it is and experience it. And first thing we do is we do 3 adjustments. Number 1, adjust the body to be relaxed and comfortable. Number 2, we adjust the breath. So the breath should be slow, long, smooth, thin, deep, and even. So alter your breath. That starts altering your sensitivity and your awareness, so you can go deeper into the awareness of this meridians and energy gates. And the 3rd adjustment is to focus the mind. So in preparation, we focus the mind at Shadan Tien, in preparation for small heaven. So I would say spend 3 to 10 minutes preparing for meditation. So when you meditate, you go deeper, okay? Not just jumping into it. Then there's also a process when we come out of the small heaven. But when we start, we just relax, breathe slow, keep the mind concentrated at Shadan Tien. Then we'll move the chi down. We'll be aware of Shadan Tien. Slowly move it down the pathway to Wei Yin, the perineum. So become familiar with these points so you don't have to think about it when you're meditating. You want to, when you think of the perineum or Wei Yin, the Chinese name, feel that area. When you think of Shadan Tien, you hear the word Shadan Tien, you feel Shadan Tien, the lower abdomen. Wei Yin, you feel the perineum. Wei Lu, you feel the tailbone. Ming Men, you feel the lower back, mid-lower back area, opposite the navel, about where the level of where the elbows hang. And then feel the Daj Wei, the big bone on the back of the neck. Feel Yu Zhen, the base of the skull. Bai Wei, the top of the head, straight where the ears, the tips of the ears go up, a straight line. Bai Wei, very sensitive point. Shang Dan Tien, tongue touches the upper palate. Feel the pathway down. Zhong Dan Tien at the chest. Zhong Dan Tien. Down, back down to Shadan Tien. And so I recommend if you do get the book, it has a link. I was allowed to share the link of Master How chanting this, the mantra that goes, or rather the sound current of each energy gate, and that really helps. That's a new way of doing it than many other practices. So if you hear that sound, you start to feel that, and then you can practice on your own, developing that. Once you get a good feel of all those energy gates in that pathway, you can then later start and just breathe up. So instead of just beginning the practice breathing and circulating around, practice bathing at all those energy gates and the pathways between them, going along the meridian, down the center of the body, up the meridian, the center of the back, the center of the head, and around, and circulate and feel that area and get to where you can deeply feel it. So as you progress, the channels will widen, chi flow will increase, your health will become radiant, and you'll be stimulating all these points which have many benefits to your body and mind. And then as you progress, you can breathe in from way in, perineum, and breathe up the back of the spine, all the way up to the top of the head. And then exhale down from byway, top of the head byway. Exhale down from byway, down the center, all the way down to the way in. And for a split second, hold it out. And then breathe in. So holding the breath out for a split second and then breathing in is like a chi pump. You're pressing down, breathing out. And then when you inhale, it's sort of like it helps the chi to pump and move up the tailbone. So breathe in from the base of the body, perineum, up the spine, all the way up. And try not to use imagination, try to use sensation, feeling, interoception, feeling the pathway up the center of the back. Then as you exhale, you come down the forehead, tongue touching the upper palate, down, eyes are looking straight, 45-degree down, down, over the chest, the middle dantian, down to the lower abdomen, sha dantian, down, and then down to the perineum. Hold the breath out for a split second, and then breathe in. And you can continue that cycle. And I wouldn't set a specific time, I would just do it as long as you can hold that flow of chi. And in the beginning you may have to build your chi a little. Using a good technique is reverse abdominal breathing. And eventually that'll help the chi flow around there. But you can learn to feel the pathway, you can learn to feel the energy gates, and get to feel the small heaven circulation. It can prevent colds, it can strengthen the body, and just practice circulating, feeling it moving around the body. So it took Master How 15 years to master, and so it can take a long time, but if you think about spending that little extra time in your life, we have many other tasks and many other duties, but the benefit to have that ability to have tremendous, like a fire hose shooting up water, that much energy moving through, clearing our system at will. And we want to develop that chi flow to move along there stronger and stronger. So practice it with the breath, practice meditating, bathing at each energy gate, and slowly develop the circulation along the small heaven circle. I hope you enjoyed. When you complete this meditation, it's important to do a closing form, what we call the closing form, because A couple of reasons. One, qi actually can get stuck in the head and in the body, and we have to kind of move the body to clear it out and bring the qi to the outer body. So the other reason is to kind of bring ourselves back and ground ourselves again, bringing the qi outside. So upon finishing the small heaven circle, breathe in and just bring your attention back to the lower abdomen and rub your palms together, bringing the qi in the hands, and massage the forehead from in to out, cheek in to out. Pinch the earlobes down, so you're stimulating these points on the ears. And then take your palms and massage the ears in a circular motion. Take your fingers and comb your fingers through your hair on the front and the back, moving forward to back. And then do the same patting forward to back and on the sides, clearing the meridians in the head. And then rub the dajue, the big bone on the back of the neck, till it gets hot. So I rub it till I feel a little bit of heat. And then finally you can pat the arms down and this can go upward, the outer arms downward, pat upward, pat the chest down, pat the legs down, and then upward on the inside. And then we just close. We gather and push down. So you can do that 2 or 3 times if you like. Gather, and you push the qi down. That's clearing all the way through the body. So that's closing form, and we do that at the end of the meditation.